I had £18,000 sitting in a Barclays current account for 3 years. 3 years! Do you know how much interest I earned on that? I'll tell you. £4.72. Meanwhile, Barclays was lending my money out at 20% interest on credit cards. They made thousands off my savings. I made enough for a coffee. That was the moment I realized I wasn't a customer. I was the product. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why I left, where I moved my money, and most importantly, what's happened since. Because spoiler, I haven't looked back once. The problem with high street banks. Let's start with what's actually happening when you keep your money in a high street bank. Barclays, HSBC, Lloyds, NatWest, it doesn't matter which one. The system is the same. When you deposit money, the bank does two things. One, they lend it out at interest rates that are 10, 15, sometimes 20 times higher than what they pay you. Two, they invest it in bonds, markets, real estate, again, keeping the returns. And what do you get for letting them use your money? In 2024, the average high street bank was paying 0.1% on current accounts. Meanwhile, the Bank of England base rate was sitting at over 5%. That's a gap of nearly 5% on £10,000. That's £500 a year you're leaving on the table every single year. But here's what really got me. It's not just the interest, it's the fees. Overdraft fees, transfer fees, international payment fees, being charged to access your own money. I tracked my bank charges. For 1 year, I paid £180 in fees. I didn't even notice at the time. The high street banks rely on two things to keep you: habit and inertia. They know switching feels complicated. They know you've had the same account since you were 16. They're counting on that, and it's costing you. The moment I decided to leave. So what was the final straw for me? Honestly, it was a conversation I had with someone at my bank's customer service line. I called to ask why my savings rate hadn't increased after the Bank of England raised rates again. And the guy said, and I quote, "Our rates are competitive within the market." I asked him what rate I was on. He said 0.25%. I asked what their best savings rate was. He said 4.5%. I asked why I wasn't on that. He said I needed to open a different account. So they had a 4.5% account the whole time. They just never told me. They were hoping I wouldn't ask. That was it for me. I spent that evening researching alternatives, and what I found genuinely shocked me. Not because better options were hard to find, but because they were so easy to find. I just never looked. Where I moved my money. Right, so let's get into the actual moves I made. I'm going to break this down into 3 buckets: everyday spending, emergency fund, and long-term saving/investing, because each one needs a different home. Bucket 1, everyday spending account. For day-to-day spending, I switched to Chase UK. Here's why. No fees. 0. No monthly charge, no overdraft fees if you accidentally dip, no international transaction fees, which, if you ever travel, is massive. I went to Portugal last year and paid exactly what everything cost. No 3% foreign transaction fee quietly added on. It also has a roundup feature, so every purchase rounds up to the nearest pound and drops the difference into a saving spot. I saved an extra £340 last year without thinking about it. Bucket 2, emergency fund. Everyone should have 3 to 6 months of expenses sitting somewhere accessible but separate from their spending account. Out of sight, out of mind, but easy to reach if you need it. I moved mine to a high-interest, easy-access savings account. At the time of filming, you can get current rate 5.1% on accounts from Chip, Plum, Atom Bank. The rates change, but the point is the money is working while it sits there. On a £5,000 emergency fund, that's £255 a year in interest for doing absolutely nothing differently. Bucket 3, long-term wealth building. This is where the real difference happens over time. Any money I don't need for at least 5 years goes into a stocks and shares ISA. The ISA wrapper means I pay 0 tax on any gains or dividends. 0. The government gives you £20,000 a year to shelter from tax, and most people don't use it. I keep it simple. I invest in a low-cost global index fund. One fund. That's it.
No stock picking, no timing the market, no stress. The global economy goes up over time. I want a piece of that.
The results. So after 12 months of this new setup, here's what actually changed. My emergency fund earned £312 in interest. My previous bank would have given me £19. My stocks and shares ISA is up 12%. I'm not going to promise you a specific number because markets move, but over any decent time horizon, a global index fund has historically returned 7 to 10% annually. My spending account fees went from roughly $180 a year to zero. And perhaps the biggest change, I stopped feeling anxious about money because I actually understand where it all is and what it's doing. That peace of mind is worth more than any interest rate.
How to switch. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a faff. Changing direct debits, notifying everyone, closing accounts. Let me make this really simple. The Current Account Switch Service, CAS, is a free UK government-backed service. When you open a new current account and use CAS, your new bank handles everything. Every direct debit, every standing order, automatically transferred. Any payments that accidentally go to your old account get redirected for 36 months. It takes about 7 working days. I've done it twice. Both times it was completely seamless. For savings accounts, there's no switching service. You just open the new account online, which takes about 10 minutes, then transfer the money yourself. That's it.
The close. Here's the truth about money that nobody teaches you. The system is not designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to make the institutions wealthy using your money to do it. But once you see that, you can't unsee it. And once you move your money to places that actually work for you, it starts compounding quietly in the background while you get on with your life. That £18,000 that was earning $4.72 a year, it's now earning over £900. Same money, different home. That's it. If you found this useful, subscribe, because this channel is about exactly this. The system nobody explains to you. We break it down every week. See you in the next one.